Okay, so we've scaled this up to fit to be 4 by 4 meters and 400 by 400 centimeters. Now we need to kind of get a sense of how thick these walls are. And if I come to my sort of, let's see, mid is turned on. Let me see, where's my midpoint? Okay, if I come to my midpoint here and I click and drag a polyline, you can see in that little, guide that shows up that I'm pretty much at about 25 centimeters for the width of these exterior walls. So I'm going to hit escape. We're going to use 25 for those, and these inner walls, we're going to take a look here, and we'll click and drag, and those are about 10, right? We want to round these off. We don't want decimals. So 10 centimeters for the inner walls, 25 centimeters for the exterior walls. So I've already got my one square created around the exterior walls, and I've gone through the trouble of renaming this layer walls and making it the active layer. The first thing I want to do is offset that exterior wall. So I'm going to use the offset command, and I want to offset it by 25. So make sure your distance says 25 because we're making the inner walls here. And then just click, and it drops in a second interior wall there. That's good. That'll get us started. Now, I want to kind of cut through the middle here so I could figure out, making some of these interior walls and at the same time defining the distance that's going to be taken out here for the doors. So I'm going to start with another polyline. I'm going to go to the midpoint here. It locks right into that midpoint, and I'm going to click and drag down right through the center, and I'm just going to kind of keep going. I'll come down to here because later we'll use that little handle that we're making now to stack these floors when we get all the floor plans made. So zooming in here, I know that this gap is probably about 80 centimeters wide, and so I'm going to take a polyline and just click to the center and go out, and I'm just going to type in 40. So by typing in 40, I get a precise measurement there. I'm going to hit enter, and now my polyline, I got to lock it. Okay, there we go. So now I'm locked in. I've created that polyline. Now I'm going to hit enter. So I've actually got two curves here. I've got the one that goes all the way around the building, and I've got the one that we just made, the little tiny one, okay? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use that little tiny one just as a reference point so that when I lock in here, see, because I want to lock in at the end of that point, and then I want to go lock in here and then go all the way up to the top and lock in up here. Cool, and then I'm going to hit enter. So now I've got my inner sort of wall defined here. And that's pretty much going to be the same on the other side, another 40 centimeters. So check out this cool trick. I'm going to use the mirror tool. So let me just deselect that, and I'm going to type in mirror. And it says select the object to mirror, and it's going to be that polyline that we just created there. And it says, so enter, and then start of the mirror plane. And I'm going to click here at my center point, and then come all the way down to here, and look, it creates that, the center point there, which is kind of cool. And I know that doesn't necessarily line up perfectly with our floor plan underneath, but it's the right measurement for the doors to create the right size door. Okay? Great. So far, so good. Now, another thing that I want to do is go in here and get rid of that little polyline that we used to start that sequence, this curve here, the shorter one. I'm just going to get rid of that because the fewer curves we have in the end, the better when we're trying to extrude these curves and make walls out of them later on. Okay, so now that we have those outer walls kind of set up, let's start working on some of the interior ones. Let's go to this line here, and let's Alt click on the gumball and type in 10. We're going to offset that 10 centimeters, and we got our other one. We could do the -10 on that, or you could just do the offset command, whichever you choose. Just make sure that the distance is set to 10. And we hit enter. And there we go. Click. And so we've got a couple of different methods to do kind of the same thing. So what I want to do is I want to see how tall this should be, right? These interior doors are probably 70 centimeters, whereas the exterior doors are 80. So what I want to do is I want to try to figure out a logical top for this wall, and I'm going to use a polyline to do that. Let's see, from here, well, let's just kind of figure this out here. If I was going to go and cut right across here, something like that, how high is this? Let me just measure this out with a. I wonder if I could do a little measure tool. Oh yeah, it tells me the length of whatever's been highlighted there. Okay, that's kind of cool. What I want to do is I want to see how now tall this is. I'm going to go here to here, and it's 184 centimeters. That's actually, I can live with that. Okay, at least it's a round number, right? So I'm just going to escape that because I don't want to, make a second line there. So this is perfect. So we're going to use that as the bottom of our door. Now what I want to do is I want to measure up 70 centimeters from there. So I'm going to start at that intersection point there, and I'm going to type in 70. And it goes all the way up here. Now I know that seems like it's cutting into and it is cutting through the floor plan, but remember, these things are not always exact. You know what, let's do 60 instead. Is that better, you think? Maybe we'll split the difference and go 65. Okay, I like that. Alright, so we're gonna put a line there, and that's where we're gonna start our. Oh, that's a polyline there. Let's escape that for a second, or return. I want to use that to build my top across, just like that. And we've already got that coming through here. So I'm going to hit enter. And now what I want to do is I want to use a trim tool. So if I hit trim, it says select cutting objects. And what I want to do is I want to select this one and this one. And it says press enter when done. Boom. And now I can get rid of this and get rid of this. Oops. Oh, there's two curves there. So we're going to cut that one, and then this one we can get rid of. That was our reference line, that second one that was there. Okay, and that's, what else do we need to trim? Well, not for now, that's it. Okay, excellent. So we're going to hit enter, and now we've gotten rid of that door there. We've got our wall that goes up, although there actually is no wall there, so we're going to have to change that up a little bit. But you get the idea. I wanted to show you the trim tool. Alright, so down here, now we can do the trim tool, and we said that entrance was 65, so I'm going to measure this one now from here to here, 65. I'm just going to type it into the command line, and it puts me here. Click there, okay, and enter. And so that polyline here is two pieces, and I'm going to have to blow that up. I'm going to explode that because I don't want this part of it, the part of it that was just here, this little curve I want to get rid of, because these curves are going to be trimmed out anyway, right? So we do that trim command again, and I'm going to use my cutting objects are going to be this guy and this guy, and press enter, and the things to remove are this and this. Okay, cool, right on. And now I don't need this anymore, so I can go back in with my line tool and just cap these. Cool.